Guys,
Hi guys, thanks for joining me on Daliso Sports Show, and my wonderful guest today is one of my very good friends, Maipe, who is a big, massive Manchester United fan. Hi Maipe, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, Daliso. Thanks for having me. Happy to be on the platform.
I am so excited that you could make it today. So excited. So when we were talking over the summer, actually, because the first game was always going to be, we knew it was Manchester United versus Arsenal, and you were sending me a lot of stuff, and really, I was laughing at you. I can't lie. I was like, you know what? There's nothing man you can do to us. How did you feel about about the squad that you have now? After one game, how are you feeling about how you guys are setting up?
I think after our last season, which was literally in the mud, we were like, listen, we better have a transfer window. We better get some players in. At least we're not finishing 15th again. So I think now the squad is definitely much better than it was last season. So obviously with the new signings with Mbuemo, with Cunha, with Sesko now, in terms of that front three, happy with that front three. However, I still think we need a goalkeeper and a CDM for us to compete and to actually win. We will need that going forward. But however, I'm happy with the current squad. So at least we have some progress from last time. And actually, with our first game, we would have wired you really. You were lucky. Okay. You literally won.
Yeah.
Vibe.
Look, this is, I think, the argument, right? For years and years and years, apart from the last 3 seasons with Arteta, we have always come to Old Trafford, left angry because we never won. We always outplay Manchester United, right? And you used to beat our Arsenal all the time. Now, this time, you outplayed us from minute one. I think even when we scored till the end, I was breathless. You were very, you were just so aggressive and so intense. I agree with everything that you're saying about the improvements your team have made. So I agree. You do have an issue with the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I agree. But you know what? I don't think you should completely be worried too much about the goalkeeper. It's the first sort of season first game as well. He's just starting. We had the same issues initially with David Raya, if you remember when he started.
I agree, yes. But the problem is Bayindir did this last season as well.
So but how many games was he playing? He was covering. He was not the main guy. He was covering for Onana. And that dropped ball was literally something he has to train, because I knew that was one of his weaknesses, even coming into the game on Sunday. But I don't think it's like, train him, get him to a standard. But what keeper is out there that you can get right now? Or Donnarumma, I guess.
I mean, we thought we could get him, but he's speaking to Man City. It looks like he's going to Man City.
Right, okay.
I think that's Donnarumma. So Donnarumma is not there. So I don't actually, in terms of goalkeepers and who we can get, there was talk of Martinez from Villa on a loan deal. However, that fell through, so that didn't go ahead. I think Aston Villa wanted more in terms of us covering the wages and the above, and we said, no, we're not doing that for Martinez. So in terms of goalkeepers, I would even rather play Heaton, because actually he played during our preseason. And
who's that? Sorry?
Our third goalkeeper.
Oh, your third goalkeeper.
I'd have Heaton play.
Really?
Because in preseason, he actually wasn't terrible. I was shocked. My shock was shocked, okay? But Heaton play, and I said, wait a minute.
We've got a keeper.
I mean, he might as well play, because when we watched the preseason games, and he played in preseason, and he was able to make these saves, movements, both all these. So he's doing the right things. He's in the right position, and he's actually passing the ball, and he's actually saving the ball, which is the important thing. Bayindir, nice guy, but he's going to leak goals. It's going to be like Western Onana. So if we play, it's all well and good to say, okay, let's strengthen our back line, let's strengthen our front line. If we're leaking in goals, our goal difference is going to be terrible come the end of the season. So that's why I feel like
Yeah,
We need a
I agree
goalkeeper.
with you with that point, only because, like you said, there are a lot more teams that play like Arsenal when we're attacking, where they're going to be crowding the goalkeeper and they'll be floating in those corners and those crosses towards him. If he cannot see the ball coming and can't really, orientate himself enough to catch those, then you guys are going to be vulnerable, especially in those positions. I agree. But in terms, like you guys, your defense when you started against Arsenal, I was really shocked at how well Luke Shaw did. He's not somebody I was counting on to be like one of your best players in that game, but he was really, really, him. In fact, I noticed him and Mount more covering and blocking Saka. Saka was dead because of those two guys.
The thing is, Luke Shaw is not a bad player. He's just never fit for a whole season. He's always injured. So he never gets that consistency to play. Like, if you say, will Luke Shaw play 10 games?
Yeah.
We don't know. So when he's fit, he'll show up, he'll play the game, he'll do what he's supposed to do and, block the runs. However, he just doesn't stay fit. So maybe this season is a different one for him where he stays fit and then we see something different. But I think I'm happy in terms of him and having Euro as well in that back line. To show up that back line. So I think Euro looks very more comfortable now than he did when he first actually joined. So that's a good thing. And if you remember last season, even though we were terrible, it's because people were cutting across that midfield literally, it was like there was no midfield. So the fact that Mount is actually doing the job and tracking the run, I think now Amram is very much like, listen,
he has made his point, hasn't he? Yeah, last season he was always looking like he was about to cry, to be honest, Amarin. But it looks like whatever they've done in pre-season, it looks like he has made his point and he's instilled the values that he's expecting of his players. They did not stop running. Even Casemiro, I thought, did well. People were complaining about him. I'm thinking, because I was looking at everything in terms of Arsenal's success, and we're not very successful cutting through your midfield. In fact, your midfield was bypassing ours very easily. So I don't think you've got a lot to complain about in midfield. Again, let's see who are your midfielders. Delete was there. That was the back defense. So you've got Fernandes, Casemiro, Dogu. I thought Dogu was pretty good as well. Very determined. Dalo, what do you think about Diogo Dalo, though?
But he plays on the wing, so he's never really. He only always came back in midfield because Casemiro didn't have the legs. But technically, he plays on the wing. If you're going to have that, he literally plays on the wing.
Well, but the thing is,
on the wing. So ideally, we want Ugarte to play in that.
We're talking central midfield.
Yes, but it looks like Ugarte hasn't really been able to do that even before. And also Maino didn't actually come on. So he was on the bench, he didn't come on. So now we're all asking to say, okay, so who's actually playing? Because while I love Casemiro and he can do a job, legs. Okay.
His legs.
If we're saying let's do this for half a season, Casemiro will not do it for half a season.
But there are some games where you need to be more strategic than you have to have somebody there with experience to stop certain things instead of just being a workhorse, You can't all be like Declan Rice, just running for England and making decisions. So I think in this case, he was started only because you wanted somebody there who was decisive, who could help control that midfield. Because Bruno Fernandes can't do it all in certain games. That game was just too technical, probably for Man U to be able to just let, just to put in someone else. Maybe he wanted the control Casemiro give in that position.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with that. And I think sometimes, obviously, you need a player who's with that experience to play in your midfield. Yeah. It's just whether, if, let's say, an injury happens, then obviously we're back to trying to figure out whether we have Fernandes and Ugarte in that midfield, or it's going to be Fernandes and Maino.
Yeah.
He's still trialing to see what works, because currently we don't.
You don't know.
I don't know we're not sure what that midfield looks like, because Bruno, for me, well, they want him to play midfield. I think he plays better just behind the strikers.
Yeah.
His position. So trying to play him in that CDM position is a waste of time. I'd rather he just plays behind the strikers. At least, he'll do the running. He can see a pass.
The transition, because you want to be able to you need to have him in a position where you're creating more chances, and for him to do that work, then he can support Cunha better and Buemo. Because I thought those two, those are great buys, honestly. I didn't see this before I saw them play for you, but Cunha who's a player I've always liked anyway. And Buemo, I wasn't really sure. I've seen him. These are players you see when when they're playing for lesser teams, and I wasn't seeing the vision. I saw it on Sunday.
Now you saw the vision.
I saw it on Sunday. I was like, guys, the intensity, they have brought something you guys did not have last season.
No, because remember we just played Hoyland up front, and that was it.
You were folding.
Hoyland.
Hoyland, and then when you put Garnacho, you see a little spark. But now, everything, the intensity, I could not catch my breath. There was a point I was thinking, right, I need to remember to breathe.
I almost seem to remember, I'm like, how's it going? What's going on?
I was not breathing. Right. So yeah, I'm really impressed. I really think Man U are going to do a lot better than I predicted. I think you're going to be seeing top 6 this season. If you continue, I don't know if it's just, you saw Arsenal and thought, let's be motivated. It could be that thing as well, where, it's a big team. Let's make sure we don't lose. Are you going to be able to replicate this with Newcastle, with Aston Villa, for example?
But the thing is, we have hard games anyway, because our first 6 fixtures, we actually, even though we have Fulham this week, we still have Manchester City and Chelsea to play in our first 6 fixtures. So
first 3, you need to at least, you haven't got a point. Despite this display, you need to be thinking about the next 9 points you guys are going to
Fulham. But my thing is, the first 6 will show us, because
will show a lot.
We'll show, because we would have played the top teams in terms of Arsenal, Man City,
Arsenal is
Chelsea.
Done. You've got Fulham. So if you Fulham away though, Fulham last season we're not lying down.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So So the test is
Fulham, Burnley. You should be getting 3 points from Burnley. Very physical, probably still. Although they did get hammered by Tottenham. Burnley, then Man City. Oof.
Yeah, this is what you see. What I'm saying.
City.
Fulham away, and I don't see Fulham away.
Man City away, guys. This is not good. Man City away, Chelsea at home, Brentford, Sunderland. It's not bad. After Chelsea and Man City, you have quite a bit of success. Well, and Liverpool, blinking heck.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what I'm saying. So we've had you, then we have Fulham away, and Fulham away at Craven. The last time I think we won, it was 1-0. It was
very tight.
Lisandro Martinez deflection.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like we scored from open play and then it was that great. So they're going to give us a tough game. I mean, if you have Iwobi playing, if you have, Jimenez up front, it's going to be a tough day for us. I mean, we can hope for a win. Yes, we'd like a win.
I think he will.
We played against you, then hopefully.
Okay. Arsenal suffered the last 3 seasons against Fulham. Completely different sides. But I don't see why Manchester United can't beat Fulham in the next Premier League game. I just can't even envision it. I'm going to be tipping Man U to win that game. If you lose it, then we are going to probably have to readjust our expectations. But from what I saw against Arsenal, I think you guys are pretty safe from some of these sort of mid-tier teams. So yeah. So what are your expectations though, in terms of Fulham yourself? What are you expecting? Honestly, without
I'd like a win.
You'd like
a win.
Yeah, but you need to be braver than that.
Potentially, it looks like a draw.
If we win,
it's a 1-0. If we win, it's 1-0.
Okay, and then Burnley.
Another 1-0.
Okay, 1-0 win for Man U. Ooh, I think I'm going for
Man United.
Man City. You know what? Man City is one of those games. I think the players are motivated.
It's a derby. 2-2.
What? Honestly, you are really. I would never ever go draw ever. I don't care who we are playing.
The reason why I say it now, because Man City had a terrible season
last season for them. Yeah.
Okay, in terms of no trophies and where they finished.
Yeah,
and I think Pep is ready now to. Whenever Pep loses like this, he's coming back. So I know for sure that team he plays against us wants to beat us on that day. And we're playing away? We're not even playing at home. So that's why I'm saying it's 2-2. I'll take the draw against City. But the people who I'd like to beat are Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah, so they can keep
Chelsea are
quiet.
very doable. Did you see the state of them against Palace? Honestly, I was
Well,
like, what?
yeah.
Why? I tipped them for fourth. I was really disgusted with myself.
Well, they were saying we won the FIFA Club World. We're one of the top teams now. We're fighting for the Prem. That's what they said.
I was having a look at their team for their next game for West Ham tomorrow. I think they're playing the day after tomorrow. And their team doesn't look, like they've got no dynamic players in there. There's no one in there apart from Cole Palmer who's got any reputation. And even Cole Palmer, I reckon his reputation is that British reputation where it's a bit, built up on being a Brit. But there's
And
no one
also
else in there.
but also him, the thing is, like, when he has a good game, he has a good game. When he's bad, he's bad. Like, he's nowhere to be found. Like, you forget he's on the pitch.
He needs a lot of support. Although in their last game they were missing what's his name, Jackson. It's possible he was on apparently a ban from a red card. So if he comes back, they might have somebody else to bounce off of. I don't know, but yeah, it's possible. I'm really like. I'm sort of looking forward to see the transition because I'm fascinated with Ruben Amorim myself. When he started with Manchester United, it was, like I had that excitement where I'm like, well, let's see how is he going to do as well as sort of Arteta did. Of course, Arteta didn't win much. He won the FA Cup, but he hasn't won much. But I want to see these new sort of managers see how they do. And just the decline of Manchester United, I want to be there to see them sort of build back up.
I mean, yes. I mean, the thing is, we've also I think that the thing is because we were so successful for such a long period of time, the decline is almost the exact opposite of who we were.
Yeah.
And it's almost like when you look at the team, you didn't know they had no identity.
Yeah.
So each coach came in with their ethos. This is how I play. This is what I want. Some coaches didn't get the transfer budgets that they wanted, and they just worked with
what was that? Ten Hag made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, Ten Hag got the budget. Solskjaer got the budget.
Mm-hmm.
Jose
was taken advantage of,
but he was able to win us a Europa League with a Fellaini.
Yeah.
In the team. Yeah. So the thing about this is what I'm saying. So the thing about some of the great coaches that we've had is they're able to win, even irrespective of what the team looks like. But the thing is now, what we want to see is we want to see a pattern of play. We want to see that this is what we do when we get
an identity.
Yeah. When we look at the team sheet, we're like, okay, we know for certain this is who's playing, Because at a certain point, there was a time where the chomping and changing was happening all over the place, and you were like, so we don't even know. We don't know the formation, and we will see it obviously when the players come out. But it's like you don't even know what you're going to look like for the season.
Yeah,
I get the wanting to change depending on the competition if you're playing more than one competition, but I feel like you should have this is how we play, regardless of whatever else is happening.
Yeah,
and we didn't have that. So effectively, you just had individual players almost at a certain point where each player is looking at the other person to say, okay, do I pass it to you or no? Like, what happens? Do I go forward? Like, what am I doing? So I think now, as Amram has the full season and has had a preseason, because remember when he joined, he said, I haven't had a preseason, I haven't had time to do this, and everything from the preseason looks like the team are together.
Yeah,
they want to play well. They want to actually show up for the manager, and they want to show up for the club. So hopefully, we see a different team.
Well, I'm excited for you and for ourselves really to see how you can achieve that. Now, you are talking about team cohesion. You have got a bit of a problem with Jordan Sancho. What is that now? I mean, how do you deal? What is up with these boys? What is up with them?
What do you mean?
Rashford had a bit of a meltdown last season. It wasn't even, to be honest, I thought he was unwell last season. And then he's talking a lot now that he's in Barcelona trying to fix you guys from there, like, But what about Jordan Sancho? How, do you have any sort of insight in how Manchester United can fix that situation or get rid of him? What's happening?
I think Manchester United now, I think initially they probably wanted a higher transfer fee for Jadon Sancho, as they do for these players who we are saying are no longer part of the group. So him, Anthony, Malacia, They're saying you're now not part of
Last year is
the group. You're
alive.
training over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So yeah, he's there. So the coach has made it very clear that these players are not part of the main group. But I mean, surprisingly, at a press conference during preseason, he said if they don't find a club, then he will reintegrate them back. Now, we don't know what that means. We don't know whether that's you sitting on the bench and warming the bench. But but the thing with Jadon Sancho for me is if he was a player who was performing consistently, right, then nobody would care about the antics so much. Yeah, players who have antics. Okay, we've had
Character. I call
Cantona.
them
You understand?
character.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, yeah, we've had Cantona, we've had Ibrahimovic, we had Ronaldo, we've
But
had all these players.
they were bringing their nonsense, but they were showing on the pitch that they could carry it. You cannot just come with your baggage and just leave it in the corner. You better be able to carry it while you're running at Old Trafford and so everywhere else.
And the thing with Jadon Sancho, I think the disappointment with all of us fans is we saw a player there. Because when we saw him at Dortmund, we were saying, if he comes to us, he's going to do bits. He's going to do bits for us. We can't wait for him to play with Rashford, at the time with all these players. And then he came and then it was mid. We didn't really see him do what he was doing at Dortmund. Then there was an issue there with Ten Hag previously. He was given time off. Then he was brought back. But it looks like he has no interest in playing for Manchester United. So he's gone on loan. He's, posting freedom, liking all of these things.
Yeah.
And then the fans are like, well, okay, that's all well and good, but you're still a Manchester United player because you went on loan to Chelsea and Chelsea sent you back. They were happy to pay us 5 million to send you back. So clearly you're not as good as you think you are. And I think where Man United are now is if the bids come in, which they've come in, Roma came in at 25.
20 million? 25?
Yeah. Like whatever the add-on is. So 25 total. He said no.
He went because they were offering 150k a week or something like that. And
but the most any of the four that we've heard of who initially want him have offered 200 maximum per week. No one is offering him the 300.
I think he should be grateful. Take it. Yeah. He should be grateful and take whatever is there and try and fix his attitude.
Exactly. But the thing is, at this point, it looks like he's trying to hold out potentially because he thinks there'll be another club that will come in.
Like who?
And that's the
there with the money to spend on a player like Jordan. There are so many other options clubs have got. He's not the most sought after player. You know what I mean?
Unless he goes to Saudi, but I've not heard a Saudi bid. No one has said no.
No one knows. He's not well known enough, I think, to demand as much attention as he is trying to demand.
Yes, but that's why we're over it, and that's why we're like, listen, we just want you to the club at this point. We don't care where you go, whether it's a loan, permanent. We just need you gone. Okay, with the option. If you go on a loan spell, there should be an option to buy, and you're gone.
Yeah.
It's the same way we feel about Garnacho with his antics, with wearing a Villa jersey and doing all of this. And
because of Rashford, his friend, yeah. But you know what? I would have liked to see Garnacho succeed because when he started, I was quite excited. He looked like a very exciting player. So to see him sort of, I don't know if maybe it's the way Manchester United handling some of these youngish players because you cannot have 4 different young players having such an attitude. Either that or, there's no respect for authority in the club. There isn't.
But remember,
But
remember, we've had young players before. If you look at the class of '99, those were young players.
Yeah, '99.
The Giggs and the Scholes and all those guys. Those were young players when they joined. When they played for the first team. Yeah, they were young players.
There was an authority figure there who they respected. So I guess that is what is lacking at the moment. They do not have anyone there who they are scared of to say, you know what, if we mess this up, we are going to miss out on an opportunity. So maybe that is where the issue is coming from with Manchester United and its young players. But yeah.
And that's why maybe now Amram has had to take the stricter stance to say you're no longer part of you find a club and you leave. Because there's not going to be this disruption in the dressing room. I think previously it was you can do certain things, and because of the profile you have, you're almost forgiven. You're fined. You come back. You're back in the fold. So there's no consequences to your actions. Whereas now it's you're not playing. I don't care how big you think you are. You're not bigger than the club. You're not bigger than the team.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have all this disruption, then you're going to go. As fans, we would have loved to keep Garnacho, Kobe Mainu, as as academy
Yeah,
players
players.
coming through the academy as academy talent, we would prefer that Kobe Menu, Garnacho stay at Manchester United, and we see what their progress looks like, because
Yeah.
Garnacho still has some, in terms of he's an attacking threat, but sometimes his finishing is leads a lot to be desired. But then the thing is, you see, with the behavior, I don't think there's no coming back now.
There's no
Because
coming
obviously
back. You've got new
his
players.
brother has also been busy as well, so it's a bit like,
Yeah, no. I think at the moment, Manchester United are sorted in that attacking threat position. They do not need any foolishness. You've got a manager who, when it says something, I actually believe it. You know, I'm looking at him and I'm not mocking him completely. I mean, apart from that statement, which was hilarious, that they've shown that they can beat everybody. You know, they've shown that they can do really well, but calm down, you know. But I do believe that's what he believes, you know. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season from your team, Manchester United. Right? We don't have much time left. So you know what? Looking forward to Fulham next to see, so that we can see if the Arsenal performance, without the win, of course, the Arsenal performance was something that's going to continue for Manchester United for you guys. And yeah, thank you for coming and joining me for this little chat. You guys, you need to find Maipe. Tell them where they can find you so that they can see more of your content.
So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Western21. All the content will be posted on that.
Lovely. Great stuff. Thank you for joining me, and I'll be talking to you soon. All right, then.
Of course. More bands.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, then. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.